Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to Fourth and Forever. There are days where sometimes you don't want to do these things. Football is an escape for me, for a lot of people. And then there are days, like yesterday, where that escape becomes a reminder of what could have been. Marshawn Kneeland passed away yesterday at the age of 24. And I'm not going to speculate into the whys of what happened and, what could have been done and all that. Because the truth is, I don't think we will ever know. But what we do know is that Marshawn Kneeland, at 24 years old, took his own life. And I've spent 24 hours trying to figure out what I wanted to say. Not just to make a video, but to try to express my own feelings. Because I've been there. I've been in that mindset that everything would just be better. And I can tell you it's not. Because all you do is create a permanent end to a temporary problem, and no matter the problem, it is still temporary. I think as people, as fans, we forget that football players are people too. And they're the easiest to forget in all of sports because they're not there. You don't see them the way you see other people. In basketball, you see their face, you see their facial expressions, you see all this. And same with baseball and every other sport. You see everything about the athlete on the field. In football, their faces are they're hidden behind a helmet. They have the pads, and they look like warriors. And they just become names on jerseys. From the outside looking in, you could look at someone like Marshawn Kneeland and be like, he's 24 years old. He was a second-round draft pick in the NFL, so he has money. If he's wise with his money, he could never play a day after his rookie contract, and he would be set for life. He has a significant other, his family, he has a child on the way. You look at that and think, well, that person has the life. But mental illness doesn't care. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what you have. It doesn't care about any of the things that, as individuals, as people, that we look at, that we care about. When you're in that, sometimes the only thing you think of is, I just don't want to be in it anymore. And that hurts. You wrestle with that, and then you have these fleeting moments of happiness that aren't real. You hide behind smiles and laughs and making other people laugh and making other people happy. Because in your head you think, well, when I'm not here, at least they will have a good memory. And you don't think about what happens when you're gone. 24 years old and have the whole world ahead of you. And athletes have this. Athletes are people too. They have the same feelings and the same doubts and the same thoughts. And I tell people that money doesn't buy happiness. Like, you can chase money your entire life thinking, man, if I just had just this much more money, I'd be happy. If I had this much more things, I could be happy. If I had this big of a house. And none of that really solves anything if your head is not in the right place. You could have everything you ever thought you wanted in life, but if your head is telling you that you're not enough, then none of that stuff will ever matter. It's just leaving stuff for somebody else. Yeah, I'm trying to get through this without getting overly emotional because I've been in that spot. I can't tell you the times that I would wake up wishing I didn't. I can't tell you the times that life just seemed like it didn't matter. And be honest, it happened at the same age that it happened for Marshawn Kneeland at 24 years old, when I lost what I thought was my entire world. And I remember just not wanting to keep going. Yeah, something I fought. I still fight it. 17 years, and my mother's been gone for 17 years, and I still fight that little voice in the back of the head that says, if you weren't here, you wouldn't feel that anymore. That little voice that sort of rings in back and goes, your family will be fine without you here. I've lost a lot of friends to suicide. I've lost more friends to suicide than friends that I still have. To be in that mindset, and then you see somebody else go through it, and it's just, especially somebody that seems like they have it all. It takes away the fun of the game. It takes away to just try to enjoy the moments of life. And that's what you need to do. You need to enjoy your moments of life, because nobody is granted. Nobody's guaranteed another one. Nobody's guaranteed another moment. Then every time you talk to somebody, maybe the last time you talk to them. You don't know what other people are going through. Try to be nice. I can't tell you I'd be here right now if the right people didn't send the right messages at the right time. The people that you really care about. And you get a 3 a.m. text message like, hey, you doing good? Like, to most people, that's like, dude, why would you send somebody a text at 3 a.m.? And then to people like me who get that 3 a.m. text, it's like, you good? That's something you carry with you. Something that you remember. And for those people that you'd go to war for. Check on your family. Check on your friends. Check on the young men in your life, because we're at a time period, and especially men are raised different. People think that men are stronger, but in reality, we just hide it a lot better. We can just separate ourselves from it. And I don't know what Marshawn went through growing up, but I know I went through growing up that it wasn't exactly encouraged to say all your feelings. Sometimes it was implied a lot to try to just, you're a man, tough it out. You don't cry, you're a man. And some of the same people that said that have sort of grown past that now. And that's been good. My mom tried, but she didn't know like the inner details. She tried to get me help. She tried. She wanted to understand it, but she didn't. And for the most part, if you're not in that space and you've never been in that space, you can't sit in there and go like, I know what you're feeling like, because you don't. It becomes so much harder to just function. And you never try to say, I know what you're feeling like to somebody, because you don't know what they're feeling like. But you can say, hey, I'm here if you need to talk. And mean that. Be there. Because I'm here if you're out there and you need to talk. Whatever. Talk. I don't care. Talk until you just run out of words to say. And I'll sit here and listen. And I think the lesson that this should teach everybody is just enjoy your moments while you have it. because you never know when it's your last. You know, Monday night, we saw Marshawn Kneeland get his first NFL touchdown, and we had no idea it'd be the last time we saw him on our screens. Somewhere in his head, he knew that could have been the last time he was out there. And while he's celebrating and smiling and having a good time, that thought was there. It is rough to watch anybody suffer, and it's harder when you realize you didn't even know they were suffering. And I just wanted to say, with all this, that I hope everybody finds a bright spot today and makes today a day that makes tomorrow worth wanting to come. And that's all I really wanted to say about Marshawn Kneeland today. I want to leave this with, I want to say this, Marshawn, whatever you were missing in this life, I hope you find the peace in the next one. I hope his family and his friends and his teammates and people that loved him find comfort knowing that a lot of people are thinking about them. And I hope everybody finds a reason to make today a better day than it could have been, and a reason to make tomorrow a day you want to see. And it's going to play the play from Monday night. And just think about a 24-year-old man that's not here, and a child that will grow up, that will eventually be born, and live his whole life, or their whole life, and never meet their father. But at least there's a video memory of him smiling and having fun. Rest in peace, Marshawn Kneeland. And if you're out there and you're struggling, there is help. You are not alone. Ask for help. And you are not alone. There's numbers on the screen. There's a website on the screen. Just hang on. Always hang on. It is okay to not be okay. It's not okay to check out early.
Hill. O'Donnell has it blocked. Into the end zone in a race. And a touchdown. Sam Williams blocked it. Kneeland the touchdown.